3, 2, 1, and action. What is up, Travels with Buddy Nation on the Travels with Buddy station? As you can see, I got the ankle weights on, 10 pounds a piece. So you gotta wonder what exercise I'm doing today, huh, bud? And if you notice Buddy over here, come here, you. We gotta get you in the camera. Buddy got a haircut. Buddy got his summer haircut, and it's a good thing too, because yesterday it was really warm. It was in the upper 90s, huh, bud? So I gave Buddy, he's got his haircut. As you can see, his hair is nice and short, and it's nice and cool for the summertime, huh, bud? Yeah. We still got a little more trimming to do, like behind the ears and stuff, and around the neck. But he must be I know he's a lot cooler with the haircut, huh, bud? And I know you're probably wondering why I got the ankle weights on today. Today we're going to be doing some leg curls, working the hamstring. It's one of my weaker areas in strength training. It's an area that I need to strengthen. But instead of doing traditional leg curls with the leg curl attachment, as you can see over here, I got the leg curl attachment on my bench. I think doing leg curls, especially if you're kind of a beginner like me with this exercise, or if you have weak hamstrings, I think you're better off using like a dumbbell. I'm gonna do the exercise with a dumbbell as well, or ankle weights, because with the leg curl machines, a lot of leg curl machines, when you go up past a certain level, you have more tension on the leg curl. Like with me, my hamstrings are kind of weak, so the weaker part of the leg curl for me is actually the higher part of the curl. So that's, when I contract the muscle in the hamstring when it's up at the highest level. For me, that's like my weakest part of the exercise. So I notice when I use like ankle weights, or if I use a dumbbell, if I hang out to grab a dumbbell with my feet and I curl the weight up with my feet, once I go past that range, there's really not a whole lot of tension. I could actually rest at the top a little bit better. And it's better for people like me who have very weak hamstrings. And as my hamstrings get stronger, I'll move on to the traditional leg curl machine, where when you bring the weight up, that there's, even at the top, there's still a lot of tension on the curl, on the leg curl machine, leg curl apparatus, whatever you want to call it. And it's designed to do that. But for me, for example, right at the top, that's where my hamstrings are the weakest. So that's when I kind of need to rest. So I notice when I do leg curls, when I use ankle weights or a dumbbell, for me it makes the exercise a little bit easier. It's more for like a beginner. But I notice I get a better workout when I do leg curls using a dumbbell or ankle weights, because I'm able to do that. And for years, every time I use a leg curl machine, I never got a good workout on my hamstrings, because it was like my hamstrings would be over fatigued. It would train them too hard, and the muscles in my hamstrings, they just weren't strong enough to hold that weight on the top end of the exercise, which I'll demonstrate in a moment. But like I say, this is also a good exercise to do if you don't have a leg curl machine. You can just use a dumbbell or ankle weights, whatever you have. So without further ado, I will demonstrate the leg curl to the best of my ability. And Bud, you can spot me from the other room. And today, it's going to be a little bit cooler than it was yesterday, so maybe we'll go for a walk today if it doesn't rain. I know Bud doesn't really like the rain, and I'm going to show off his haircut a little bit more. Right, Bud? His hair is nice and short now. And I trimmed around his bangs so he could see his eyes. Before we couldn't even see his eyes. How about? I don't know if it's. I think I'll put him over here. He had hair covering his eyes. You couldn't even see his peepers. How about? So now we can see your peepers. And I know you must be a lot cooler because your hair is a lot shorter, and you can probably see better because I trimmed the hair around your eyes too. Alright, so without further ado, I will demonstrate this exercise. And I'll put Buddy in the other room, and he can spot me from the other room. And it's a little cooler over there because that's where the air conditioner is, huh, Bud? Alright, so I'm going to put Bud over here. And I will demonstrate the leg curl. With the ankle weights, I'm going to try to do about 15 to 25 repetitions. With the dumbbell, I don't do as many. I'll try to get 15, but I might only get 10. And if you notice, I put the, I got like, this is some padding I put under the dumbbell. That way there, in case I drop the dumbbell after I do the set, I don't hit the floor, you know. That's why I put that, it's like a blanket or a sleeping bag or whatever. It's just to protect the floor. So without further ado, I will demonstrate the leg curl, and I'll try to get about 15 to 25 repetitions. And I'll show you what I mean when I curl the weight up. See, I go past the midpoint, and like right here, there's no tension on my hamstrings, so I can actually rest a little bit. And I can actually get more repetitions, and eventually I'll build muscle in that upper, in this area. Basically, I can curl down, and lean down, curl up. That's 2. I'm trying to get about 15 or 20 reps. Notice I got 25 reps, and the reason why I got 25 reps was because I was able to rest at the top. You see what I'm saying? With the leg curl machine, I wouldn't have had that option to rest at the top, because at the top level there's actually just as much tension as at the bottom level, and that's where I think I'm weaker, is at the top level. So because I was able to rest at the top level, I was able to get more repetitions, and eventually I'll get stronger in that area from doing this exercise like this. And like I say, it's a really good exercise to do if you have weak hamstrings. I think it'll really strengthen them, especially if you have if your hamstrings are weak in that upper level, like where mine is. Even if they're not, it's still a good exercise to do, especially if you don't have a leg curl machine. And next, I'm going to demonstrate doing this exercise with a dumbbell, which is a little more difficult, but it's also a very good exercise, especially when my bench, I'm missing a couple of screws where the seat is, and so it gets the seat's a little wobbly, so I gotta be careful when I do the exercise. So I'm gonna take out these big, heavy ankle weights, and I'm gonna demonstrate this exercise next with a dumbbell. If I can get these out. My legs are going to feel lighter once I take these out. But these ankle weights, they come in handy. They're great for doing pull-ups if you want to add weight to your pull-up, or leg lifts for training your abdominals, and even doing leg curls, as I demonstrated. All right. Whew. And I'll rest my hamstrings just for a minute. I just did 25 reps. And, but I noticed I just started doing these a few weeks ago, and I noticed I have more muscle tone in my hamstrings already, and it seems like I have more flexibility in my hamstrings when I'm walking and everything. So doing the exercise in this fashion really seems to help me. So if it helps me, I'm sure it'll help anybody that needs to train their hamstrings. So without further ado, I will demonstrate this exercise with a dumbbell. I'll try to get at least 10 repetitions anyway. For me, it's much more difficult with the dumbbell. All right, I got 20. Now putting the dumbbell down is a little more difficult. That's why I put the blanket down. As you see, it's a little more difficult putting that dumbbell down, so that's why I put padding under there to protect the floor. But I think as I continue to do this exercise, I'll have more muscle control in my calves and my hamstrings, where I can gently put the dumbbell down. It's just that I got muscle in them areas, they're just not that developed because I never really worked them. But again, this is a great exercise for strengthening your hamstrings. Like I say, using the dumbbell is really great. If you noticed, I was able to rest at the top, and that's why I was able to get 20 repetitions. Believe it or not, even with 20 pounds on a regular leg curl machine, I wouldn't have got 20 repetitions because I wouldn't have been able to rest at the top. So in a way, it kind of benefits my hamstrings because I got more repetitions with the same weight. And just by doing it with the dumbbell and the ankle weights, I noticed the muscles in my hamstrings are getting more developed and getting stronger, and they're getting more flexible. It's a great exercise. You've got to give it a try. And remember, if you like these videos, make sure to subscribe to Travels with Buddy. Remember to keep training. Have an awesome day, and don't forget to take those walks. All right, everybody. Peace out.